Hello students, my name is Arshan and today we will do the 14th chapter of class 7th mathematics textbook of NCERT, and the name of the chapter is Symmetry part 1. So students, symmetry is an important geometrical concept commonly exhibited in nature and is used almost in every field of activity. Artists, professionals, designers of clothing or jewelry, car manufacturers, architects and many others make use of the idea of symmetry. For example, if you see the beehives, the flowers, the tree leaves, even religious symbols, rugs and handkerchiefs, everywhere you see you can find symmetrical designs. So students, you have already had a feel of line of symmetry in your previous class. Now, a figure has a line symmetry. If there is a line about which the figure may be folded so that the two parts of the figure will coincide. You might like to recall these ideas. So students, here are some activities to help you, like composing a picture album showing symmetry, then creating some colorful ink dot devils, or making some symmetrical paper cut designs. You can enjoy identifying lines, also called axes of symmetry, in the designs you collect. Let us now strengthen our idea on symmetry further. Study the following figures in which the lines of symmetry are marked with dotted lines. So, you can see the first figure, it is in the shape of T and the line of symmetry is passing just through the middle of this T. So, if we fold this T from this line, we can see that both the parts will coincide. Similarly, in the second shape, then in the third shape, it is in the shape of English alphabet M. Then in the arrow. So students, with this, let us start our first topic of this chapter, that is lines of symmetry for regular polygons. Now you know that a polygon is a closed figure made of several line segments, and polygon made up of at least number of line segments is the triangle. So students, can there be a polygon that you can draw with still fewer line segments? Think about it. I am very much sure that there isn't. So students, if I tell you the answer, a polygon with less than 3 lines is not possible. So a polygon is said to be regular if all its sides are of equal length and all its angles are of equal measure. Thus, an equilateral triangle is a regular polygon of 3 sides. Now students, can you name the regular polygon of 4 sides? Well, certainly yes, it is a square. And an equilateral triangle is regular because each of its sides has the same length and each of its angles measure 60 degree, just like you can see in this figure. Similarly students, a square is also regular because all its sides are of equal length and each of its angle is a right angle, that is at 90 degree. So its diagonal are seen to be perpendicular bisectors of one another, like in this figure. And students, what if a pentagon is regular? Naturally, its sides should have equal length. So you will later on learn that the measure of each of its angle is 108 degree, just like you can see a pentagon in this figure. Now, if we move on to a regular hexagon. So students, a regular hexagon has all its sides equal and each of its angles measuring 120 degree. You will learn more of these figures later, but right now you can see a regular hexagon in this figure. The regular polygons are symmetrical figures and hence their lines of symmetry are quite interesting students. So students, each regular polygon has as many lines of symmetry as it has sides, but we say they have multiple lines of symmetry as well. So let us see our first regular polygon, that is an equilateral triangle. So students, in this equilateral triangle, you can see 3 lines of symmetry. Then let us move on to square. In this square, you can see 4 lines of symmetry. Then we will see a regular pentagon. So students, in this regular pentagon also, we can see 5 lines of symmetry. And then we will see a regular hexagon. In this, we can easily see 6 lines of symmetry. So student, perhaps you might like to investigate this by paper folding. So go ahead, you can try this at your home. The concept of line symmetry is closely related to mirror reflection also. A shape has line symmetry when one half of it is the mirror image of the other half, just like you can see in this figure. Now, a mirror line thus helps to visualize a line of symmetry, just like in this figure. So students, while dealing with mirror reflection, care is needed to note down the left-right changes in the orientation as seen in this figure. The shape is same, but the image is other way round. I am sure you might have learned about this property of mirror in your science class as well. So students, with this we are at a very interesting punching game. So in this game, we have to make a line on a piece of paper, and the fold is a line or axis of symmetry. Now study about punches at different locations on the folded paper and the corresponding lines of symmetry as you can see in this figure. First of all, we will fold a sheet into two halves. Then we will punch a single hole, and when we will unfold the sheet, we will be able to see two holes about the symmetric fold. So I am sure that you have made a single hole, but you got two holes. Interesting, isn't it? So students, with this we are at our exercise 14.1. So let us perform this exercise to strengthen our concept of symmetry. So students, in this exercise part, our first question is, copy the figures with punched holes and find the axis of symmetry for the following. So students, now to solve this question, we have to find the axis of symmetry. Now we know that the line of symmetry is like that when one half of it is the mirror image of the other half. So with this fact, we can visualize the line of symmetry in these questions. So the first question is the square. In this, the line of symmetry will be like this. Then in the B part, we can make the line of symmetry like this. Then students, we can make the line of symmetry like this. So students, the first question is a square with the line of symmetry, and we have been given one hole as well. So to find the other hole, we will again use the same property of line of symmetry, the mirror image of the other half. So with the help of this, we can find the answer. We can visualize a line of symmetry and the two holes. So in the first question of the square, the answer will be like this. Then again, for the second question, in a square, the line of symmetry is given and the hole is given. So its answer will be like this. Then again, in a triangle, its mirror image will be like this. Then the circle, its mirror image will be like this. Now students, let us move on to the third question and try to solve it. So the third question is, in the following figures, the mirror line, that is the line of symmetry, is given as a dotted line. Complete each figure performing reflection in the dotted mirror line. You might perhaps place a mirror along the dotted line and look into the mirror for the image. Are you able to recall the names of the figure you complete? So students, we have been given half of an image with a line of symmetry or mirror line. So let us perform this question and find the answers. So when we put a mirror onto the first image, we will find a square. Then let us move on to the second one. With this image, if you put a mirror, we will be able to visualize a triangle. Then let us see the C or the third one. When we put a mirror, we will find a rhombus. Now the D1 is a semicircle, so I am sure that it is very easy for you to recognize. If we put a mirror onto the line of symmetry, we will find a circle. Then the next one is a pentagon. And the last one, if we put a mirror, we are able to visualize a octagon. With this students, let us move on to another question, that is question number 4, which is, the following figures have more than one line of symmetry. Such figures are said to have multiple lines of symmetry. Identify the multiple lines of symmetry, if any, in each of the following figures. So students, first we have been shown some figures with multiple lines of symmetry. Then we have to identify multiple lines of symmetry into the given figures. So for the first one, in that we can see a triangle and 3 circles. So this given figure has 3 lines of symmetry, hence it has multiple lines of symmetry. So students, now let us move on to another question of this exercise. So the question is, give 3 examples of shape with no lines of symmetry. So students, we have to give 3 examples of shape with no lines of symmetry. So we can say that example number 1 can be a scalene triangle. Then example number 2 can be a quadrilateral which has no line of symmetry, or And also our third example can be the alphabet R. So all these three have no line of symmetry. So students, with this we are almost at the end of our chapter. In this chapter we have discussed about a lot of things. We have discussed that a figure has line symmetry, and if there is a line about which the figure may be folded so that the two parts of the figure will coincide. Then we talked about regular polygons having equal sides and equal angles. They have multiple lines of symmetry. Then also students, we talked about the regular polygons having as many lines of symmetry as it has sides. For example, we saw a regular hexagon with 6 lines of symmetry, a regular pentagon with 5 lines of symmetry, a square with 4 lines of symmetry, and an equilateral triangle with 3 lines of symmetry. So students, with this we are at the end of part 1. I am sure you might have understood the concept of symmetry well. So try to perform all these exercise questions into your notebook, and if you are not able to find the answers, take the help of your teachers or your parents. We will meet next time with some other interesting chapter. Till then, bye bye.